Hello and welcome to Business PNG. In this edition,
Today we signed the agreements.
This is a major investment on behalf of the Fijian people, and we are very excited about this.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill and his Fijian counterpart, Commodore Frank Bainimarama, addressing the media right after the signing of the multi-million-dollar deal between Vodafone Fiji and B-Mobile. We'll have that a little later, but first, the Fiji PNG Trade and Investment Mission. It was the biggest Fijian trade and investment mission ever to have come to our shores. Apart from his wife and daughter, Prime Minister Commodore Frank Bainimarama led a high-powered delegation of 22 government officials and 65 business executives from 47 companies. No doubt, the third week of April 2013 will go down in the history books of both countries. The aim here was ambitious enough to lay the foundation for an integrated market for nations of the Melanesian Spearhead Group. Papua New Guinea Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, in welcoming the Fijian delegation, said the time was right to share development experiences in key sectors while exploring new areas of cooperation. Yes, there's been a heightened increase in the level of cooperation and consultation in recent times, particularly in areas of defense, fisheries, tourism and trade, and this mission was set to build on what's already been established. The Gateway Hotel in the capital city was where it all went down. The Fiji PNG Trade and Investment Seminar themed A Strong Partnership for Growth. Host Minister Richard Maru in his official speech was quick to point out the fact that PNG currently stands as an ideal investment hub in the Pacific. He affirmed the country's ability to deliver on world-class projects, such as the much-anticipated multi-billion Kina gas project, the key strength being political stability.
This project, Prime Minister, will prove to the rest of the world that we are emerging as one of the #1 investment destinations in the world. And if Fiji doesn't, somebody else will. And they're coming in truckloads and in plane loads every day.
The global trend is such that countries world over are going into trading blocks, an initiative which the MSG has adopted to promote duty-free market access among member states. And as far as business is concerned, Minister Maru said reviews in areas of business and investment are underway with a number of key objectives. Top on its priorities is to grow indigenous businesses, which in turn should generate 2 million jobs, a target set by the O'Neill-Dion government.
You need to understand our mood and aspirations of this country and our own people as you prepare to come and invest in this country. We have to create 2 million jobs, create wealth for our citizens. We must not be spectators like we have been. We must be involved in business. We want joint venture opportunities. Our people must be in the driving seat. That's the message that I need to be very clear with all of you.
He also emphasized PNG's pursuit for potential trade partners in areas of fresh meat and dairy products, which is currently dominated by Australia and New Zealand, a single market that accounts for about 50% of our imported goods.
We import 50% of our beef from Australia. It cannot go on anymore. We are looking for investors, and if Fijians are interested in cattle, you got lady here, please come. Australia has done nothing to help us raise beef here because it's not in their national interest. I have no need to apologize to anyone for that. Nor have they done anything about even with dairy. No New Zealand, because we are a big market for them. This must no longer be the case.
Commodore Bainimarama acknowledged the important points made by the minister. He said both countries have similar interests, and much of these are embedded in the value and success of the MSG.
As the major economies in the region, Fiji and Papua New Guinea are now driving the MSG trade agreement towards the first fully fledged free trade area, the FTA, in the region.
Fiji's trade with Pacific Island nations has grown from less than 1% of its total trade in the year 2000 to around 4.5% in 2010. Much of its increased trade links had been with the MSG member states, made up of PNG, Fiji, Solomon Islands and Vanuatu. Fiji PNG trade in 2012 alone amounted to $23 million. These accounted for 20% of total trade in the region.
We expect major growth in trade figures for 2013 and 2014, especially with the removal of most duties by PNG under the MSG trade agreement. More broadly, the Fijian and PNG governments, along with our respective private sectors, share a bold vision, which is a truly integrated Pacific, pursuing common goals that grow our economies, increase our regional and global influence, and benefit all our peoples.
Stay tuned, our story continues when we come back. The Trade and Investment Mission will go down in history as the first to have attracted the biggest trade delegation from Fiji, an event that further consolidates the bilateral relationship between both countries, with ambitions to lead the Melanesian spearhead group Integrated Global Influence. It all looked promising. The cream of the public and private sectors of two very influential Pacific Island states converged under one roof to deliberate over business opportunities and trade investments for the greater good of the Pacific.
Fiji. Strategically located in the heart of the South Pacific, Fiji offers a cost-competitive location for investors intending to set up offshore operations.
We basically are saying to you as a chamber, look, you want to come to Papua New Guinea, obviously IPA might be your first stop, but come talk to us as well.
The seminar featured a trade exposition officiated by Fiji Prime Minister Commodore Frank Bainimarama. Comprising of 18 booths in total, the main idea here was to give a glimpse of the different products and services available by the business communities. Much of the focus here was what Fijian companies had to offer to Papua New Guinea. According to Fiji, PNG has the biggest market in the Pacific, one that is reflective over the current investment boom in the country. Commodore Bainimarama highlighted the fact that with a little over 7 million in population, coupled with a big landmass rich in natural resources, notably in the mineral and energy sectors, PNG has gained its presence pretty well in the global arena.
And recent projects such as the Grand Pacific Hotel, the Pearl Resort, and Bank of South Pacific are clear evidence of confidence Papua New Guinea has in Fijian economy and my government's policies.
Business leaders graced the opportunity while they had the chance. According to online reports back in Fiji, orders were exchanged and agreements reached between suppliers and distributors. For many, this was a good omen in the revived PNG Fiji and Fiji PNG business councils. Both countries equally ready to lead the MSG into creating a stronger economic alliance in the interest of every Melanesian. Coming up next, Fiji's biggest investment in Papua New Guinea, the Vodafone B-Mobile deal. Stay tuned. You're watching Business PNG. The formalities have been made. The PNG government, through its commercial arm IPBC and Fiji National Provident Fund, are joint investors in B-Mobile PNG, the first step to opening competition in the mobile telecommunication industry. This was the major highlight of the trade mission. The formalities over the joint investment between the PNG government through IPBC and the Fiji National Provident Fund over B-Mobile PNG. The signing ceremony at the Parliament House signaled the start to mobile phone competition. B-Mobile has telecommunication licenses in the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea. Following the formalities, the mobile phone company is now under a management contract by Vodafone Fiji, meaning a Vodafone B-Mobile brand will be launched in PNG and the Solomon Islands. This news brought applause from the Solomons and Vanuatu. Both prime ministers were present to witness this historical event. This is one of Fiji's biggest investments here. IPBC will inject $88.2 million That's an equivalent of about 193.5 million kina, while Fiji's Provident Fund, FNPF, will put in 91.9 million US dollars. That's about 201.6 million kina.
Today we signed the agreements for one of the investments that will be taking place, which is the Vodafone Fiji B-Mobile PNG partnership that has been signed just this morning.
As I said, this is an exciting venture and an important milestone in the new relationship that Fiji is building with Papua New Guinea. We are pursuing closer economic ties, Mr. Prime Minister, with a view to eventually creating a single market for the countries of the Melanesian Spearhead Group.
IPBC and FNPF are equity partners, with PNG's head of state entities holding 51% shares and Fiji's Provident Fund acquiring a 40% stake. Of the remaining 10%, the Asian Development Bank has 0.99% shares, leaving 8.01% to Capital Way. Capital Way shareholding is made up of steamships, Number One Super, Pacific Rumana, Nest Fund, PNG Sustainable Development Program, and GEMS. NEC has already approved the new Vodafone B-Mobile board members. The appointments include Andrew Johnson as chairman, Wasanta Kumarasiri and Paul Comboy representing IPBC, and Ajit Godagoda and Jauji Koroi representing FNPF as directors.
And with the 7 million people within the country, it's a huge market, and also there's a potential. From our members' point of view, this is expand the asset base in terms of diversifying the investments rather than relying internally on Fiji for investing their funds. Secondly, that they'll be able to take part in the benefits of investing in a growing economy, for instance in PNG and Solomons. And third is the employment that this joint venture will provide for our Fiji people, because it will be managed by Vodafone, so there is opportunity for employment as well, and exchange of skills between the two countries.
You're watching a special edition on the Fiji PNG Trade and Investment Mission, an interview with Shaheen Ali, Permanent Secretary of the Fijian Ministry of Industry and Trade, when we come back. The Fijian Ministry of Trade and Investment was one that had a pivotal role in this trade mission to Papua New Guinea. In this segment, we hear what the First Secretary, Shaheen Ali, had to say about the mission. Here's Anya with that interview.
Now, can I just ask you what your portfolio is, your role?
Yes, I'm the Permanent Secretary for Ministry of Industry and Trade, and of course that ministry is vested with the responsibility of encouraging trade, business, investments also. So it's connected to the heartbeat of the Fijian private sector. So we're looking at facilitating, putting in better reforms, improving the cost of doing business in Fiji. But at the same time, we are also responsible for better standards, consumer protection, and better metrology service, which is trading standards, better trading standards. So it's a balancing act. It's a big portfolio, diverse portfolio, and which is why this ministry is important. But we are here in PNG primarily because we see PNG is a very important market to Fiji. We've known that for a very long time, but everyone has been saying that the time is right for partners to come and join hands with PNG, and we've recognized that. Our private sector have been calling for a trade and investment mission to PNG for over a year now. It's just that the timing has not been good, but this time around, with our Prime Minister's first state visit to PNG, the stars aligned themselves, and we were able to mount a trade investment mission. And it's for Fiji, it's the biggest trade investment mission that Fiji has undertaken. So that just shows you the importance of this trade investment mission, the importance of PNG to Fiji with the bilateral discussions that have gone on, and the recognition our people have, especially the business community, of the opportunities available in Papua New Guinea. Yeah.
Now, you did touch on the cost of business in Fiji. We all know the cost of setting up business in PNG can be quite cost prohibitive sometimes. What do you think Fijian businesses can do to survive here?
I think like all businesses, Fijian businesses are look at the positives and try to negate the whatever challenges there are. Obviously, the main challenge would be in terms of cost of doing business, like we found in Fiji also, is communications. But the great advantage is both governments recognize impediments to trade. Both governments recognize that infrastructure is essential. Both our governments recognize that utilities are essential for businesses. Without communications, without infrastructure, without roads linking you up, without ports shipping your products outside, and without utilities, without power, without water, business will be severely constrained. And there is a recognition that we in the Pacific, Fiji, can be better equipped, but I think we are striving towards that. Both our governments have in Fiji, the 2013 budget that was announced by the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, Honorable Vorenge Bainimarama. His focus was purely infrastructure and roads, and the same I can gather from PNG also.
That's
that
right.
all the revenue that is generated from the boom is now put back into the infrastructure so that the country itself can grow. So these challenges are there, but these challenges are minute compared to the recognition of the opportunities. And I think the world recognizes that PNG is rising up. So does the Fijian private sector.
That's right.
And they're here, and I think those challenges can be easily addressed. They are not insurmountable, but yeah, the opportunities and the profitability of venturing here is cannot be ignored. Yeah.
So would you say there are steps being taken to overcome the cost of doing business here?
I think both countries, as I've already said, both countries are taking that in their stride. But I'd like to point to how privately we are improving cost of doing business. And this signing of the deal between our Fiji National Provident Fund and B Mobile is a prime example of how companies can invest in things like communications, and thereby also provide facilitative environment for businesses to, because communication is essential to all knowledge-based industries. So this is how both countries can cooperate and improve the cost of doing business between themselves. I'm sure you'll ask me about this, what are the greatest impediments, and we have Air Niugini coming directly into Fiji, which is great. It comes in twice and goes out twice. It provides a direct link, people to people, direct contact between Fiji and PNG. And I must mention the great initiative of your Prime Minister that was announced in the bilateral to now ensure that all Fijians can receive their visas on arrival.
Yes.
That will immensely help us to take advantage of us.
Yes.
But in terms of impediments, that people will still point to sea links. We need direct sea links, and rather than going through Brisbane or other Asian countries, direct sea transportation between Fiji and PNG will immensely help the flow of goods and services between Fiji and PNG. So I'm sure we are addressing that, and with increased interaction between business, as is seen in this trade and investment mission, the market forces themselves will create these linkages,
Yes.
will overcome these challenges. And with sea and transportation, you know it's the volume that determines whether the route is viable or not. So once the trade starts taking place, at the moment it's low comparatively. I think it has huge potential to quadruple even in the next say 10 to 20 years. But yeah, I think increased interaction between the economies of Fiji and PNG will naturally overcome some of the key impediments that you may consider at this stage, with some of the developments required in areas that can support business.
So we're moving in the right direction.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I think both governments are focused in moving ahead and making the lives of the ordinary people better. Yeah.
Now, PNG is looking for investors to create 2 million jobs, that's been discussed earlier. How can Fiji assist with this?
I think we can. We heard the Minister for Commerce and Industry and Trade put this challenge to us, that job creation is important. I think the focus of the national government is very correct in that sense. It's not just about upskilling and training, it's about after upskilling and training you provide them with gainful employment. And minister was right that if you want our market, he was saying, as far as PNG market, very lucrative market, you have to be present in PNG. So that in itself I think is a good policy. It's a policy that's been adopted very successfully in fisheries with PNG, with the marine park. So PNG is saying, if you want our resources, if you want our market, you have to joint venture. You have to set up operations. PNG does not want to export any unfinished products or raw materials. They want to finish the products here and get the maximum returns. So I think that's a good policy. What it indicates to Fiji is we must partner with PNG counterparts, enter into joint ventureship, and if possible set up operations here to see if we can manufacture the same goods here. But it needs to be a gradual approach. Firstly, your minister was saying that PNG's traditional suppliers have been, say, Australia and New Zealand, and over the years nothing has changed. You know, you keep on buying products from Australia and New Zealand, but there's been no transformation in terms of like substituting some of the products that you are already importing. So I think Fiji can assist in a different way, where we can gradually increase our cooperation. Firstly, we say that Fiji produces just as better product as any other international country in terms of standards. Plus, we are value for money and cost effective, and we are close to PNG also. So, in that respect, we see ourselves. We can firstly adequately replace your traditional suppliers in some of the key products that we are producing, and then also to look into investing in PNG, because really if you want to tap the market the size of 7.5 million as PNG, you have to be present, and companies know that. Companies have that already in their business plans. I don't need to tell them that. They're not here just to look for few shipments. They're here to have a sustainable business. And sustainable business as a business model firstly starts from few exports, and then gradually as the market demand grows, then the company has to move in. I mean, company has to first get a supplier, and then as the business grows even more, then the company has to move in and set up operations in PNG. So I think we can take up the challenge your minister has put to us, and in some small way, as Fijians, we can assist in creating some jobs in PNG, and also create jobs for PNG nationals to come and work in Fiji. We have the Skills Movement Scheme MOU between the MSG countries, which will now be implemented, and Fiji has already implemented it. We have waived visa processing fees and what have you associated with the MOU. So qualified professionals, skilled people can move amongst MSG countries, go to where the jobs are, where the jobs are being demanded. That assists quite a lot in terms of building business relations between MSG countries, because you have some firms that are set up both in PNG and in Fiji. Those firms will be able to interchange their employees, capacity builds, secondments, they have seminars, trainings, so it's easy for them. And hopefully, you know, we'll have some industries created in Fiji where PNG nationals can give their inputs, and vice versa. In the bilaterals, Prime Minister talked about, both the Prime Ministers talked about, you know, getting training and cooperation in the area of defense, peacekeeping, that can be done. In the area of tourism, where we have the School of Hospitality, which trains most of the people, skilled personnel in the tourist industry in the Pacific. The graduates from there are very essentially service the tourism industry in the Pacific. So we can look into those areas of cooperation and try to assist in creating gainful employments for both Fiji and PNG.
So a lot of mutual benefits in this relationship.
Most definitely.
So much has been achieved from the trade mission: business deals, exchange of development ideas, and bilateral assistance in terms of the PNG government's commitment of 50 million kina towards Fiji's democratic election process next year. It's one process that has all eyes centered on Fiji. Also, good news for PNG and Fiji business and holiday travelers now that visa issues are relaxed. All this and so much more documented in a joint communique signed by both leaders. And that's been our edition of Business PNG. To access our programs online, log on to www.mtv.com.pg and go to our Business PNG page. And before we go, remember to send us your feedback on Facebook or email. I'm Festus Maiganab. See you next Tuesday.